have an anxious attachment style, okay? I overthink, I overanalyze. I am insecure in regard to relationships. If it's uncomfortable, it's not for you. You know, whatever's for you feels good. Whatever's for you is going to be for you and be there. I'm that person who's always overthinking, what am I doing wrong? Why aren't they talking to me? Why aren't they reaching out? Why aren't they texting back? Here's the thing. I still feel everything, but I don't let my triggers dictate my actions. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Okay, today we're talking about mastering the art of detachment. I have an anxious attachment style, okay? I overthink, I overanalyze. I am insecure in regard to relationships. And it took me a long time to really grasp what detachment means to me. There's all these videos talking about just have the mentality that everyone is just their own person and have free will. You can't control anyone, you can't control what they do, which is all valid points, right? But hearing all these kind of things never really helped me actually master detachment in real time, real scenarios, real moments when I'm experiencing triggers, when I'm triggered. That's what I wanted help with. In the moment, how can I detach? And like I mentioned, as someone who has an anxious attachment style, insecure anxious attachment style, and I'm a Cancer, I overthink, I check my phone. Why aren't they texting me back? Why aren't they texting me back, right? Typically, I'm talking with the wrong man, but I'm that person who's always overthinking, what am I doing wrong? Why aren't they talking to me? Why aren't they reaching out? Why aren't they texting back? I'm going to tell you how I mastered the art of detachment, how I am mastering the art of detachment as someone who's an anxious little girly who just be freaking out all the time, thinking everyone hates her and I'm the issue, I'm the problem. Number one, here's the first point. I'm making this point very clear. I still feel everything. I still get very much triggered. I still get triggered. I still feel everything. And at first when I heard detachment, I always thought people just stopped feeling, didn't feel anything anymore. Always just felt numb, kind of nonchalant, like, oh, I don't care. Like that didn't affect me. But for me, here's the thing. I still feel everything, but I don't let my triggers dictate my actions. That's what true detachment is for me, especially someone who's an anxious little girly, anxious attachment girly, overthinking girly. That's what true attachment has been, and I've been mastering that. I feel the trigger, but I don't let it dictate my actions. And I found out my vicious cycle of me staying attached, staying in a survival mode mentality space where I feel unsafe in regard to relationships. What am I doing wrong? All these unhealthy cycles and staying in unhealthy cycles. I realized I was very reactionary, if that's a word. I would act on the feeling I would feel in the moment. I'm triggered, go lurk on their Instagram. I would do it. And then I would trigger myself by seeing something I shouldn't have seen, right? Don't double text them. I do it. I follow the tinges, because like, mind you, our thoughts aren't us. That's what I had to realize. I read this book called The Untethered Soul. Please read it. Everyone in the world needs to read that book because it really does help with detaching from your really unhealthy thoughts, because our thoughts aren't who we are. And I used to identify with my thoughts. That's why I would get so down, get in negative spaces, get so depressed, thinking, why am I thinking like this? Why am I always thinking about them? Why am I always in this really toxic cycle? And in the book, it really emphasizes this concept of our thoughts can be like a mental movie. If we're just the observer, because we always heard, oh, be the observer of your thoughts. And like actually having the metaphor of our thoughts are movies, and imagine you're in a movie theater. Yeah, we get absorbed in the movie theater sometimes, right? We get absorbed in that movie we're watching. But then we realize, oh wait, I'm in the theater. I'm just watching the movie. Like, of course we'll get absorbed in the story, the character development, the sadness, the everything. We're like, this is such a good movie. Like, oh, it's so real. But then we're like, movie ends, we leave the theater. That's with our thoughts. So it's what we identify with. So we get a really triggering thought. You can be like, oh, that was a lot. But that's just the movie in my head. That's not who I am. That's not me. It leaves a little bit of space. And that little bit of space has been everything for me. Which is me going into the next point two, the actual feeling of detachment comes with practice. And I can't stress this enough. I'm one of the most triggered girls I know. I get triggered by everything. Everything makes me triggered. Relationships, men, everything just make me triggered all the time. But me practicing that, like, whoa, that's just a thought, sis. That's just, because mind you, I respect my triggers. My triggers, me being triggered, that's my body trying to protect me. I respect myself and I love myself so much for trying to protect me from harsh situations that cause said trigger, right? I have been in situations where I felt genuinely unsafe. And the triggers are like, whoa, 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 we want to protect you, Isabel. We don't want to put you back in that space where you're going to be hurt again. So, but my body wants to protect me so much all the time. It has me triggered on just about everything, even if it's not unsafe, because my body just doesn't know. My body wants to keep me protected. So they're going to trigger me any sign of danger, even if there's no danger. So this is where we can be like, of course, reminding our body we're safe, meditation, calming our nervous system down, right? But the practice, step point 2 of practicing the detachment, practicing when that trigger comes, don't act on it. But I could end the video there. I know I said in my last video about becoming our best selves with like whatever point, like it's all these concepts are truly very simple, but not easy. But for me, mastering the art of detachment can be summarized in don't act on the trigger. And once you keep not acting on the trigger, so you can literally feel the trigger subside. You'd be like, wow, it just really is a triggering thought, and that's all it is. It's not my reality, but I used to make it my reality. We make it a reality when we act upon that trigger, thus validating that feeling, that trigger, that really negative feeling inside. We're like, see, look, we're right. They don't like us. We're doing this, blah, blah, blah. But once we look at it for what it truly is, just a thought, but rather uncomfortable one, we can just leave it like that. Don't act on it. Resist the urge to act on your triggers. That is true detachment. And step 3, this is an affirmation. This is the mentality that we have to have also with this. It's just knowing that the universe genuinely always has our back. Things are always going to work out for us. And I know that's like just the power of belief and all those sort of things. But if we think about it, think about all the past situations we've ever been in and that has just been too much for us, heartbreak, just really tragic things in our life. I know it comes to a spiritual / religious thing where you just know deep down the universe has your back. And that concept for me has really helped. You can find a different concept, whatever works for you in regard to detachment and like feeling safe. But that one really does come from me like, okay, I know the universe doesn't have ill intentions for me. I know the universe doesn't want to hurt me. I know people don't want to hurt me. No one's trying to hurt me. No one's trying to hurt me. No one's trying to hurt me. The universe has my best intentions. The universe has my back. That's my affirmation. That's my go-to because it makes me feel so safe. It makes me feel so safe. Especially after being triggered, I'm like, hey, whatever situation may be. I'm like, after I calm myself down, after I do the process of not acting on my trigger, I'm like, hey, Isabel, it's gonna work out. If it's uncomfortable, it's not for you. You know, whatever's for you feels good. Whatever's for you is going to be for you and be there. Just all these sorts of affirmations stack up on each other. They all lead back to the universe has your back. They all lead back to things are gonna work out. And then step 4, it kind of revolves with everything we're talking about. When triggered, don't do anything. And when I say that, like, of course, I said before, don't act on your trigger. But this next part of it is act once you've calmed down. Because, you know, sometimes, especially me, I think like, okay, I'm clear-headed. Even though I'm like emotionally riled up, I'm gonna text them this. It feels right. But then when you calm down, you're like, ooh, maybe I should have thought that through more. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have texted them that. Take action once you've actually calmed your nervous system down. Then you can take the appropriate action forward, whether it saves you some emotions being hurt on both sides. It saves you. Also, that is a part of it. Don't act on the trigger. Don't do anything. Calm down, then take action. And then for a so personal example in my life has inspired this video. I always thought like I was kind of bad at detachment. I really thought I was, but until I got triggered. I'm on social media. I see a boy that I know, that I may like, may not, whatever. They're in a particular career that involves, you know, lots of different women and stuff, whatever. And he's getting a little friendly with women in the Instagram video, right? And I'm triggered because I like this dude, right? And I'm about to do something. I'm about to that I'm like, wait. Why am I paused and I watched that mental movie of me gonna do something, gonna take action, right? And I said, ooh, I don't like that scene. I don't like that scene in my movie right now. I'm gonna get off my phone and remember what's for me is for me. What's for me feels good. What's for me is not gonna hurt me. We're safe. We're on the right track. And that was one of the very first, like that moment right there was one of the very first occasions where I felt my trigger subside. And I cannot stress enough that never happens to me because I'm that kind of person. When I get triggered, I think about it all day. It affects my whole energy. I feel it in my chest and it just hurts all day. But when I say I've been practicing that detachment, practicing looking at it as if it's a movie, and that's all it is, and that's an uncomfortable scene I don't like, I can turn off that movie. I don't identify with those thoughts, because in that moment, those thoughts were going to reaffirm my deep down beliefs of I'm not good enough. If he was this way, if I was good enough, he'd do this. Like, if I was good enough, this would happen. No, I stopped that. I stayed present. And I told myself, we don't have to watch that movie anymore. That's not us. That's not who I am. That's not me anymore. That's not me anymore. And I calmed down, and I actually physically felt it leave my body, and I was okay again. My day wasn't ruined. My practice is paying off, and that felt so good. That felt so good. This is such a rewarding process. It's painful, uncomfortable, but it's worth it, and it works. I'm mastering the art of detachment, but I still ebb and flow. I still feel the pain of the triggers, of anything that triggers me. But it's me telling myself, hey, now we don't do that anymore. Hey, now we don't have to identify with those thoughts. That's not us. And you will feel it subside. First couple of tries, you're gonna feel uncomfortable. You're gonna want to check their Instagram. You're gonna want to text them. Like, don't. Choose yourself. When I say choose yourself, choose what you know is gonna make you feel better. Because we know doing those actions, checking their Instagram, texting them again, is gonna make us hurt more. So us resisting that urge and be like, hey, I know that's gonna be painful for me to see. I'm not gonna look at it, because I care about myself. I care about how my future self's gonna feel. Even though in the moment, oh, you wanna do it. You just wanna feed that, you wanna reaffirm that negative belief about yourself. No, don't do it. Because your hard work, I guarantee it will pay off. You will be able to master it. Because if I can, you can. You got this. Let me know how it goes. Let me know your ideas about the art of detachment. Let me know how any of your experiences with it. Let me know. I want to talk about this. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. So you got this. You got it. You got it. It's you. I don't have any doubts. Have a good one. Bye.